application, interview process, the things that drive people to complete and utter anxiety and worry.
Yeah, I know. It's like these words are a little bit scary, aren't they? So I didn't want to make it sound like that. But a lot of work's done up front to get to know the individual who's sitting in front of us and really understanding who they are and making sure that they are taking the right path for them. So we've got lots of different options in terms of avenues to go down.
So there is an interview process involved, there's a screening process involved, but it's about you getting to know that person, challenging them, ensuring that they are making the right decision. Do you do enough to try and put them off as well? Is that the sort of thing that you do, just to make sure 100% that financial planning is the right route for them based on what they really want from their future career?
Absolutely. So we do a lot of work with them around their own personal why. Why are you going to do this? This isn't easy. And as you say, if you're actually coming from a well-paid role, you are going to have a reduction in earnings. So making sure they fully understand that and doing a bit of a cash flow forecast with them and making sure they're comfortable, but also involving their family. So if somebody's the main breadwinner coming through this process, we've got to make sure that everybody's happy with what they're doing. Other people are coming through the process where there's another person, the main breadwinner, and therefore there's less pressure, if you like, on that person. So again, it's just understanding the personal circumstances.
So let's just demystify the selection process, because someone might be listening to this podcast now and thinking, I really would like to find out more about the St. James's Place Academy and become a financial advisor, but I don't want to enter the interview process. It seems too formal. What would we say to those people? What would they expect from, say, the pre-screening process from St. James's Place?
Yeah, and I've got a smile on my face when you said that, because the last thing we want anybody to feel is that it is going to be straight into one of those kind of formal panel interviews or anything like that. So it's a very human experience with us. So the first thing we'll ask people to do is, we call it a statement of interest. So write down why you want to do this. We really want to understand your reasons behind it. The next stage of the process, we'll be having a conversation with one of our team, and then maybe a face-to-face or a virtual meeting. And this is an informal conversation, and really want to understand that person's aspirations. Are they moving towards something they don't have right now? Are they moving away from something they don't like? So then thinking about which route is right for me. So it's conversational, but we have a number of tools to help somebody understand whether this really is right for them. So we have personality profilers, and I hope that people watching will have experienced doing one of those before. They're not particularly onerous. You're in the comfort of your own home. You're answering a few questions on your computer. And at the time you sort of think, what does it want me to say? And you're trying to second guess it. But really the advice is just don't think about it. Just answer the questions really, really quickly. So those really help us get a really rounded view and an impartial view on the individual. And the selection is absolutely not based on that, but it helps us understand any development areas for that person and just have conversations with them ultimately. Other things that we do, which I think are super valuable, is help them speak to people that they know. People that they know, their nearest and dearest, are going to have an opinion and they care for that person. So we have an exercise that we describe internally as soundings. And that is go and speak to, 10 people that you know and ask what their opinion of your career change. So simple questions. And you could do this quite informally before you've even spoken to anybody at SJP, and it'd be probably quite a good idea. So speak to your nearest and dearest. Have you ever sat down in front of a financial advisor before? So that's going to be a good test of, is my network already saturated? Do they already have advisors? You'll probably be quite surprised to hear that most of them maybe don't. So that's a positive thing, first of all. The ones that have, that's a really good learning opportunity, because you can say, well, how was that for you? Are you still in touch with them? What's the service like? What do they do really well? And you'll be learning some information from them. And the next question might be, well, can you see me doing that role? And of course, if it was one of my friends and I honestly didn't think they would, have to be really honest with them and say, I can't see you doing that. So getting that 360 view from other people, it's not just SJP saying, yeah, we want to recruit you, and people saying, yes, you can do this. You've got to get those honest opinions and a rounded opinion. So that will help somebody challenge themselves, and they'll take that maybe constructive feedback, and we can help work with them and say, well, we can help you plug this gap in knowledge or whatever it might be. Another thing that we work with people to do is we call it a business launch plan as opposed to a business plan. And that's, we hope, makes it sound a little bit less onerous than saying write a business plan, because 90% of the people that come to us have never written a business plan before, and certainly probably 99% of people have never written in this context to run a financial planning business. So in order to help with that, we've got sort of templates, if you like, some ideas, things for them to start thinking about. And I think once they've been through that process for themselves, you were saying earlier, it's suddenly their confidence levels skyrocket. They suddenly realise, actually, I have got all of these tools and people around me that are going to help me, and SJP are going to help me too. I've got the backing of a FTSE 100 company, so hopefully things are going to be okay. So those are parts of the journey in terms of before you even get into joining the academy.
Which I absolutely love. I mean, pre-screening somebody that thorough, it's not only beneficial to the company itself who's hiring that person to make sure they're hiring the right person, but it just shows that you care about that applicant's decision.
Yeah, well, look, we invest about £60,000 per person coming through our training. So, of course, there's a cost implication to us. But we know that this person's decision is a massive life-changing decision. So, actually, it being right for them is far more important.
And not only for them, but for their family as well.
Exactly, everybody involved.
There's probably lots of anxieties that come up for, I've got a young daughter, my wife, if I turned around all of a sudden and said, look, I'm having a career change. She'd probably say, go for it. No, but at the same time, she'd be like, well, how are we going to pay the bills? We just bought a house, Sam. So, how does that work? So I really like the fact that you go very thorough on that pre-screening to determine they're making the right decision. But what I also love about it is you put some tools in place to help them uncover and discover, is it the right thing for them? Because we have these ideas about starting our own businesses, but do we ever sit down and go through a formulated structure? And things like writing a business plan, often we think, oh my God, I've got to write a business plan. That's 10, 12, 15 pages of what a bank wants to see. And actually, it's not like that at all, is it? It's just bringing to light some of the things that you're going to do and what you think is a good idea. And having somebody there to encourage you to bring that to the surface, or to give you some perspective and challenge you on your thinking.
Absolutely.
Because more often than not, when you bring those thoughts out into the light, they're either not as bad as you think, or there are certainly thoughts that can be expressed and built upon. And you guys do a good job of doing that.
Yeah, and just to, again, let's make it really simple for people to understand so they can start to think, okay, yeah, I can do that. First of all, you're going to have a recruitment manager working with you the whole way through that they'll work with you on all of these ideas I've just mentioned. And there is an interview stage at the end. We've got selection managers who are impartial, who haven't been working with this person for X number of weeks or however long it takes to make the final decisions. But there's so much help and preparation to help get you to that point.